Welcome in, everybody. I'm so happy to see you. So happy to be with you. It is Farmin Fri-YAY, and we have got some special guests on our show today. First of all, got a new open, kind of, freshening stuff up just a little bit. Going to be doing some major changes and a lot of new guests. Thank you to Lacey J. Dalton, who gave us a shout out today on Facebook and shared us with all of our fan base. We love some Lacey J. Dalton. Make sure you check her out and what she's doing with the Let 'em Run Foundation. And we're going to talk a little bit about farming today. Let's say you only have a backyard, a patio, a terrace. Can you still have some farm action? Can you still kind of maybe learn the art of farming in a little tiny space? Well, the answer is absolutely, positively, yes.
In the center of my heart, I'm a homestead dreamer, with a deep longing to live more rooted to the land and community, outside of the busyness of the Beltway. In between my 9 to 5 and on weeknights and weekends, you'll find me gardening, canning, and learning, because purchasing land is still a few years away for my husband and I. So in the meanwhile, we're turning our waiting room into a classroom and learning skills to adopt a homestead diet and lifestyle that can work right in our city townhouse. I've started my journey of becoming a farm girl by working with what I've got. And for me, that means homesteading without land. And, the process has shown me that many of the pleasures and benefits from homesteading are, in fact, available to anyone, no matter your current square footage. This video is part of an ongoing series I share here and on my blog, becomingafarmgirl.com, where I encourage you to start living a farm-fresh life without land or livestock in a small space and in your spare time. When we last met in late spring, I shared DIY fertilizers, a worm bin build, and how to start seeds and milk jugs. I'll show you the summer garden on my deck in just a bit, but let's get into some ways you can create a micro homestead. I've come to enjoy the many health and culinary benefits of growing herbs, which are voracious growers. In the cool of the evening, I enjoy picking bunches of oregano, thyme, sage, and other herbs to air dry suspended on kitchen doorknobs and window curtains. Not only does this visual give me delight each time a new bundle appears, it's also been an easy and cheap way of replacing store-bought herb blends that can't beat the freshness of my backyard basil. Learning to preserve in-seasonal produce is not only the most economical way to shop, you also get the best quality. Now, I'm a small batch canner, but you'd be surprised how quickly you can build a pantry sourced with ingredients that you control the amount of added salt, sugar, and food distributor that you trust with just 1 to 2 canning sessions a week. As summer fruits come into season, I can them. Stay tuned for my homemade honey Dijon and chutney recipes. And the canning books, equipment, and tools you see me using are listed in the description box. While I've previously dabbled with basic fermentation in the past, an unintended yet surprisingly beneficial outcome of the canning lid shortage was that I took a second look at fermenting. Now, other than yogurt, y'all, I did not grow up eating fermented veggies, but after studying several helpful books which expertly showed how to tailor flavors, I am hooked. The time and equipment are low cost, and you're making your own gut-healthy probiotics. Now, I've been a kombucha maker and canner for years, so I'm assuming my detour into food fermentation was probably inevitable. But I have truly enjoyed adding this new preservation method to my pantry and skill set. Adding herbs like pineapple, sage, and mint really give it a customized flavor, and the end result gives me a product that I had a small role in creating. The exterior of my home occasionally features my homestead projects. During the summer months, I'll set my food ferments and kombucha canisters outside to take advantage of the warmer temperatures. My neighbor has been intrigued for a while and finally took me up on my offer to get her started with her own kombucha brew. Live your farm dream out loud because you never know who you can inspire.
We can maybe do like 2 more.
Yeah, and then should I boil some more?
The tea and all of that again. Once it's cool, like it was before.
Just put it in there? On top. Oh, burp.
Oh, let's go. Yeah, we're gonna let it fizz a little bit there. Looking good.
Let's give it a whirl, girl.
Is which?
Ginger.
Ginger. All right.
Ginger peach.
Ginger peach. Oh, that's good. What do you think?
It tastes better than it smells.
It does.
Tastes better than it smells.
Yeah, it's really good. Okay, you're unsure of your commitment, but you've already bought 14 jars. You are committed.
I need to be committed is what I need. Okay, so what do
Now let's move to the garden. This year I added 2 green stalks, which are vertical planters. You can plant 30 or more full-size crops in just under 2 square feet. Admittedly, it's a purchase I delayed for a while, but now that I have them, I wish I would have purchased them sooner because it's proven to be the best space-saving solution. It's easy on my back and joints, and better yet, it didn't require tools to assemble. Check out my green stalk assembly video, and when you're ready, pair your purchase with a sale and stack my coupon code BeAFarmGirl to take $10 off your order. I'll include a link to my garden tour video, but here's a snapshot of the outdoor retreat even us townhouse garden homesteaders can attain. In my full garden tour video, I share how I made herb butter and mint jelly, vitamin herb water, and basil pesto, all from this humble space. And be sure to check out episode 1 of this series to get even more garden preservation ideas. While condiments are usually pricey additions to your grocery cart, that's not the case when you make them yourself. I recently shared my quick Dijon mustard recipe, which is even better tasting than the popular premium brand. Stirred into breakfast casseroles, dressings, or pasta dishes, it's delicious and way too easy to make. Another canning recipe I think you'll enjoy is my apricot and pepper chutney. The apricots lend their sweetness and chewy texture to the savoriness of the peppers and onions. Use it to spread on crackers as a filling for meats or sandwich spread. Be sure to check out the full-length videos that are highlighted here and on the blog. Until next time, keep becoming a farm girl wherever you are. I'll see you in my kitchen or garden soon.
Cassandra is amazing. She is amazing. You can follow her. She's got a blog, a vlog, and she's on YouTube. You can find her at Becoming a Farm Girl. Y'all subscribe. Everything she plants grows. It makes you want to get in that kitchen. She only has a townhome. She doesn't even have a yard, y'all. Doesn't even have a yard. And she grows all these fresh herbs. A friend of mine got started being a farm girl by changing her ornamental flower pot areas into places that grew her herbs. And her house smelled so good. She had a pot where she'd go clip. You saw her use the garden shears and she would just clip the basil. And you can make homemade pesto very inexpensively, and you can store that in your freezer. Oh, it's so good. And when you work with fresh herbs like that, your house smells so good. So good. We're going to be going to Sylvia Ganier's Green Door Gourmet, and we're going to, right now, they have just so much great basil growing, and it smells great. The whole farm smells good. Well, we have a farmstead, a homestead, and a love of getting outside and making our lives less vulnerable to food shortages. The people who are helping us the most are friends at Farm Credit Mid-America.
Anyone can see that this pepper is perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. It's ripe and ready to be picked. Yet somehow, perfectly good peppers like this often don't get picked. Maybe they ripen too late, have a weird look or a strange curve, or maybe they're spicy when the market wants sweet. Whatever the reason, this perfectly good pepper could go to waste. What a shame, because inside each pepper is the power to grow the hope that grows families, that grows communities.
We know that once people try fresh fruits and vegetables through our Farms to Food Banks program, they reported being more likely to use the resources that they do have to buy fresh produce again.
And if one little pepper can help someone do all that, imagine what thousands of fruits and vegetables could do.
We have an opportunity to give. We have something that a lot of folks don't have, and that is the opportunity to give the vegetables that we can't sell.
You're taking what your customers produce, not letting that go to waste, and we're giving it to people who are extremely thankful and appreciative of it.
That's why Farm Credit Mid-America has been working with farmers and food shelves throughout the 4-state region to help build the Farms to Food Banks program, get nutritious food onto the plates of those in need, and secure the future of rural communities and agriculture.
You Are My Rock. Well, I had to go there. I wanted one song that really rocked. And so this was the baby that came out. I actually had written a song with Kieran Gribben about 10 years ago. And this was one of those songs called You Are My Rock. And actually, we tracked the demo for it originally right here at the farm. And my daughters, Grace and Josie, sang along in the chorus. And it was but a very different sort of recording than what ended up on the album. And then I took the song and retracked it in Nashville with the session musicians there. And Troy Lancaster, the guitar player, played a blues string lead solo. You Are My Rock is the last track on my album, and I wanted to deliberately leave it to the end because I wanted to basically kick ass at the end of the record. The song is about thanking people in your life for opportunities that are given to you, or people who support you, and I'm simply saying thank you to everybody to listening to my album to get to the end of the song. There's a kind of humorous aspect to it too, where I'm saying literally thank you for listening to my album. Altogether, to round off my album experience and talk a bit about that, I actually had recorded other songs that didn't go on this album. Over the years, I've probably written maybe 250 songs. Some of them have been recorded by other artists, and some of them, just like Come Midnight, are just sitting there waiting for me to retrack them. And I'm feeling really positive about that. I've got a lot of material that I think hopefully people will like. Hopefully you guys will like it. And thanks for listening to me, and I hope you enjoy my album.
The idea of the song is really just about thanking people in your life, friends, especially family, and other people who help you through life. That's what the song is all about, saying thank you.
Well, I know that we have the CMA Music Fest here in Nashville, but when you go to a music festival, a country music festival in Australia, it's the craziest thing. You think we're crazy. I've never seen people love music as much as Australians. So let's talk about Tamworth and how how is it to go from a rock festival with INXS to do Tamworth, which is a huge country festival and it's summertime, but it's also Christmas time, kind of.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's very, very hot, first of all, at that time of year in that region. And the reason I know that from personal experience is because where I live on the farm I've owned for 30 years is not that far from Tamworth. So I sort of consider myself a local that lives in that area. And one of the ironies of this conversation is that at the height of my career with INXS, I was living not that far from the capital of country music in Australia. And I would go down there as a fan of country music, but then slowly but surely they're like, come on, Andrew, you want to come down here and play with us, don't you? And I did. I got to meet friends there. And before I know it, I'm like making country music, right? But I'm also a local, if you know what I mean. That's in the same area that I physically live in, all that happens, So, and the other strange part about this conversation was that I bought my farm not because it was near Tamworth, but because it was a good farm. That's why I bought it. Yeah.
What's on your farm? I got to hear this. What's on your farm?
Oh, where do I start with that? Mainly cattle and grains when it rains. And if there's no rain, there's no grain. So we grow our own oats and barley, millet. We share farm wheat. But I'm proud that we grow our own hay, and feed. But we can only do that when it rains. And on a more serious note, we coming out of straight out of the worst drought for 3 years in living memory in our district, and it was a big area. It wasn't just where we were; it was everywhere. It's pretty scary. It was like 3 years, and that was a real interesting experience is the word I'd use. There are other words I'd use, but they're probably not perhaps appropriate for the show. But it was pretty scary, and for not just for me, but the other community people who live around where we were, the small towns, where they already struggle, to prosper when they're very small little towns like that in these communities. But when you're going through a drought, it just makes it that much more severe because everybody's worried, and including in town and out in the farms. And, so I lived that and I understand that, yeah.
Well, it's happening here. It's happening in Texas right now. It's horrible. I know that a round bale of hay was $35 to $40 last year. And this year in Texas, they're paying $120 per round bale. And it's really tough on our farmers right now. And you get that. Well, I want everybody to find your music because this now the whole album, can they get the whole album now?
Sure.
Okay.
I have an album, self-titled. It's called Andrew Farriss. And if you just
two S's, double S.
If you give me a minute, I'll get a vinyl copy of it, or at least something I can show you of what it looks like. And but yeah, and
let me see. I might have it right there. There we go.
No,
You Are My Rock. This is from the video. This is a still from the video. Your world premiere. You Are My Rock. That's the single.
Right, but that's right. But that's just got put out. That's right. The video, correct. But I actually have a vinyl record that we put a lot of effort into.
Oh my gosh! And everybody needs to have a copy of the vinyl. That's the thing to collect.
Yeah,
that's the thing to have.
Here, I'll just show you. First of all, here that's what the vinyl looks like.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. That's amazing.
When it goes around, it actually does things on the turntable physically. You don't need to look at my face. You just need to look at the vinyl.
Oh my gosh! That
as well, on the other side, where the flowers go in and out like petals and open up, and the bird flies. So on this side's got the horses running around on it, and clock that changes its time, and arrows fly out. And that was done by our incredibly talented friend called Kiki Kiana, and she lives up in Montana. But here, this is what my album cover looks like. See, now if I turn my head like this, kind of looks like that. Okay.
That's
So
awesome.
Yeah, that's my album cover. And that's over here. I've got to get this part right here. Over here, we're riding horses. And guess where we're riding? Actually, physically riding the horses, right?
Where?
And near the Chiricahua Mountains in this area around here, in Arizona. Yeah.
Well, I want to encourage everybody to do a deep dive in Andrew Farriss music, and it fits perfectly. People ask me all the time, because I've been in radio and country radio for a long time, where's country music going? I hope and pray that it follows, that you are the pioneer that we're following, my friend, because I love your sound. It is so good. It is rootsy and fun and rocking and raw, and I love it. And so thank you for your time today. I really appreciate you.
You're welcome. Great to talk to you, Devin, and you have a good day now. And watch out for the creepy crawlies on your farm.
Look, I ain't got nothing like you do in Australia. You got a lot of crawlies, but you know what? That's what you pay for being in paradise, right?
Correct. There's always a price to pay for anything. That's right. Yeah.
Hi, this is Melissa Hoisington, Regional Crisis Director from Volunteer Behavioral Health. Disasters can affect everything in your life, including your emotional health. Help is available during these uncertain times. The Tennessee Recovery Project is a free, supportive resource for adults and children who have experienced the effects of natural or human-caused disasters. Specialists are available for counseling by phone or in person. For free, confidential service, please call 833-954-2424. The hotline is open 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Move forward with the help from the Tennessee Recovery Project.
And it's free. They've got a grant, and it's so important. Recovery is what we're all about on this show. And if you have someone struggling right now, the Tennessee Recovery Project is a very, very special program made just for you. This is made just for me. It is the Bacon Fest, Murfreesboro, coming up. Do you love bacon? I mean, do you really love bacon? Who doesn't, right? The 3rd annual Murfreesboro Bacon Fest is coming up Saturday, September 10th. Admission and parking are free. The Bacon Festival will feature live music, food, and craft vendors. And did I say bacon? You can ride a mechanical hog ride. Visit the Kids Zone with free inflatables. There will also be hourly raffles with great prizes and an opportunity to purchase Bacon Festival merchandise. And did I say bacon? Yeah, there will even be a bacon eating contest. Visit the 3rd annual Murfreesboro Bacon Festival Facebook page for all the details. Last night, I had the great privilege of being part of the opening of the Wilson County Tennessee State Fair, and it is a fabulous time. Oh my gosh, they have like 10 new rides in addition to what they already had. They've added 10 more. They've got new bathrooms and additional. And then they had like 4 marching bands that opened the park last night. It was so much fun. I got to be on stage, the Opry stage in Fiddler's Grove. We had Lee Polari, who is amazing. It was girls' night. And so we had Toby Lee. Oh my God, brought the whole house down. And the cutest, she flew all the way in from Colorado to play the Tennessee State Fair. And that her name is Reveille, Revele, music.com. Check her out because she's fantastic. Also last night, the Fairest of the Fair awarded the Fairest of the Fair of 2022 to Miss Bella K. Hankins. Congratulations. A lovely young lady. And in the Ms. category at the county fair, the Ms. Wilson County Fair, Rachel Piacine. And Rachel Piacine won in the Ms. category. So congratulations to our Fairest of the Fair. Tonight, if you're at the Wilson County Fair, Tennessee State Fair, you will see this happening. Okay. You've got Super Bowl starts at 7:00 tonight. The Celebrating Lovely pageant, the Boar Goat Show, the State Junior Hereford Show, the Junior Black Hereford Show, the hypnotist Richard Barker, Fiddler's Grove, the pig races, the petting zoo, and of course, my favorite, the birthing barn is open. And my friends from Edwards Feed will be there to answer some of your questions. It is so much fun. You want a little recap of what it looks like at the Wilson County Fair this year? If you go to the big pool event and you take your kids, don't forget, use ear protection because those arenas get really, really, really loud. Just letting you know, it is the perfect family entertainment. There were so many kids there last night. Last night was half price to get in, which meant $6 tickets, $6 tickets to get in. And the rides were like $1. So it was a special night off, but every night, there are all sorts of special deals and things. You can go to the Facebook page and they'll direct you at everything that is going on, and they'll send you to the website with even more information. Hey, this weekend, if you're not into the fairs and the rides and the food, okay, you might be into tiny homes. Tiny homes are the rage. And this weekend at the Tennessee Fairgrounds Racetrack, the Nashville Racetrack, downtown, where the fair used to be, they've got the Tiny Home Music Festival. And we don't have any copies of that because they've never had it here before, but they have had it in Loveland, Colorado. And here's what it looks like. The Tiny House Music Festival, the Tennessee Tiny Home Music Festival at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Okay, I'm going to get that name right. I get all my names wrong. But tomorrow and Sunday, they're going to be opening up the whole fairgrounds. And whether it's making over a bus to live in or those little mobile buildings to create your own little she shed that becomes your own little abode, what kind of plumbing, what kind of wiring, all the stuff to create a simpler, smaller living space, the Tiny Home Music Festival. Lots of great music that you will see this weekend. Who's checking in with us? Elizabeth, thank you for being here. Johnny Vinoker checking in. And Ross Fiction, good to have you, my buddy. And yes, Elizabeth, it was a very fun evening. Fiddler's Grove is filled. They've got one stage for bluegrass and one stage that's just all sorts of different kinds of music. I'm going to be back next Thursday night, and it's neighbor night for people from different little counties around all over the middle part of Tennessee. Barbara Jensen, good to have you here today. Glad to have you wherever you're watching. It is the time of the show we say FSS, follow, subscribe, and share. Every day we look for the most positive stories. We look for ways that we can help you. We look for stuff that makes your health better. And if you've got a story for us, just send me a message, devinoday@gmail.com. You guys be safe, be kind to one another, and most of all, remember you are loved. See you at Backstage Nashville if you're in town tomorrow.
Nothing like the sunrise with your coffee in the morning, or taking a good book off the shelf. Another thing I love the most than being on my own is together with everybody else. Together like a silent Sunday summer,